prior to the pandemic breaking out, I believe your last appearance prior to all the craziness before the world began to completely spin off its axis, you were talking about, in your mind, what you think would be an improvement to the NBA's schedule, which would be to shorten it and have the last couple of weeks be a tournament for the play-in for the eighth and final playoff spot for each conference. I heard that. My buddy Chris Brockman heard that. We're like, we like that idea. Looks like your idea is going to get a test program, Brian.
Not necessarily, because it's just going to be potentially two teams. I wanted all
Yes.
15 teams, and my idea was to basically the 7 teams that qualify in each conference. They move on to the playoffs as normal, and they await the number 8 seed. And then the 8 teams left in each conference play a single elimination tournament, basically 8-4-2, So you could basically play like a conference tournament, essentially. You win 3 games. You do it over 5 days. 5 days of NBA basketball. Every team could win their way in. That's what I foresee. That's not really what this is. This is, you want the nitty gritty, Rich.
Yes.
The bottom line.
Yes, Brian.
They had to gin this up to give an excuse for why they're bringing back 6 extra teams. The reason they're bringing back the 6 extra teams is because they want to play enough regular season games to help keep enough money in the players' pockets. By the way, they don't have to do it. They have the right under the CBA to just cancel those games and say, we've got to take your money because of the pandemic. But they need the union to sign off on this. They need the union to agree to come to Orlando. They need the union to agree to a contract for next year. So they had to do something to get the players more money, okay? So they are trying to figure out the way to do this. Well, they can't have a team that's 6 games back with 8 games to play. You can't bring them in there and say, okay, now play these games that are really important, because they're not. Okay, so the only way you can do it is if you create with smoke and mirrors some path that you can at least say to the players, you have a chance to play your way in. With this layoff, records may not matter. Like the Indiana Pacers may come into this thing, be red hot, and blitz their way to the Eastern Conference because it's the nature of the uncertainty of it.
Yes.
And we may see some great stuff, and it may be a tremendous thing. But the reason they're doing this play-in tournament is to just stick the carrot out there to try to justify why they're doing these 22 teams.
Well, I mean,
and by the way, I don't blame them for any of that.
No.
I'm just telling you what happened.
No, it's in that. Didn't Damian Lillard basically say, if you don't give me an opportunity to play my way into the playoffs, I don't want to come? And Steve Kerr's basically saying, we consider the season over. So this kind of checks both those boxes. And and this is part of the reason why I love having you on, Brian, because you don't mince any words. Here I am, kind of glass half full. I thought some of these games, you got to just play some games too, right, before you start playing for
that's true.
keeps.
That is definitely a side benefit, but they could have played regular season games. But I'll just give you the actual numbers. Right now, the players, and they just got a paycheck on Monday. The players are 25% of their paychecks are being taken from them to put into a fund to get ready for all games being canceled, so that they don't have their pay just stop, okay? If they cancel the rest of the regular season and said no more game checks, their paychecks going forward will be docked probably around 40%, okay? And keep in mind that they are hiring individuals. They pay over 40% in taxes, most of them. So that means you're going to be getting about 20% of your gross pay. By doing this way, they're going to potentially knock it down to about 10% of your paycheck being docked. And by the way, they're getting paid on these contracts through November. Well, ask me if I was in their shoes, if I had my pay getting docked 25%, and if we didn't play, it was going to be 40%. If we played a couple of games for a few weeks, it'd be 10%. I know that I want my pay at least docked 10%, not 40%. So that's why they're doing it. Like I'm all for it. Like, let's do it. Let's protect the money. Let's keep everybody in a good frame of mind. Let's work together. Let's share the pain. Let's have some basketball. But that's why this is all happening. This is not happening because they studied the scenario and found out that historically teams can come back from 6 games down in the last quarter. That's all just bogus, hocus pocus.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.